moving, I move along, keep on moving. I've got to follow that dream wherever that dream may lead. I got to follow that dream to find the love I need. When your heart gets restless, time to move along. When your heart gets weary, time to sing a song. But when a dream is calling you, there's just one thing that you can do. You gotta follow that dream.
That is the voice of Elvis Presley, the King, ladies and gentlemen. Kevin Kern is with us. He is the communications director for Graceland in Memphis. Kevin, welcome back to Big 550 KTRS here in St. Louis.
Good morning. Glad to be here. We always love coming to the McGraw Show.
You got it. 2 new exhibits down in Memphis.
We sure do. 2 new exhibits celebrating all things Elvis. I shot Elvis. We know who shot JR.
Yes.
But now we know the photographers who shot iconic photographs of the King of Rock and Roll. Brand new exhibit about the photographers, as well as we see some of the artifacts that Elvis is wearing or might have with him. For example, here in studio this morning, we have a comb that is peeking out of one of Elvis's pockets in one of these iconic photographs.
Right.
So the focus is the photograph, but also one of the artifacts you might see. Also this size 11 shoe here. Elvis wearing these, kind of standing on his tippy toes in the 50s.
So that's
55 and 56.
That's Elvis's white patent leather shoe.
It sure is.
Yeah.
From 1955 and 56.
Yeah. And then that's Elvis's comb.
It is Elvis's comb. I'm sorry, we can't let you come
No hair
here.
left in it.
No hair left in it. And then we also have another exhibit called Elvis, That's the Way It Is at 45, and we have a pair of gold sunglasses, the King's Bling, as we say, and these were custom made. These are also prescription sunglasses we've got here in studio with us, so Elvis would put these on so he could look cool while reading.
Of course.
Of course. he wouldn't have had the normal reading glasses. He had to be different. He had to be the king.
And those are still cool. I mean, you could wear those now.
They are. And
You
over
couldn't
time,
wear those now.
You really could.
Absolutely.
Really?
You could.
Very
They cover up
stylish.
the eyebrows. That's the
Yes.
style. They come down low on the
They
face.
cover up your forehead, too. They're so big.
But these were custom made, and Elvis, these were very early. These are from, I believe, 69. And then over time, Elvis would make some modifications, and eventually there would be an EP in the center as opposed to this little circle. Very customizable, but Elvis and Priscilla have those made in Beverly Hills.
How old was he when he died?
Elvis was 42 when he passed away in 77.
Wow.
So young. But since then, Graceland is open for public tours. Nearly 19 million people have passed through the front door of his famous Memphis mansion.
About how many every year go
Around
through
600,000 come to Graceland every year, and there's always something new to see. We actually just in August during Elvis Week last year, we debuted our brand new iPad tour, and it's the way things are going. Elvis was a trendsetter, a leader, and so we try to live by that motto today to be innovators. So we're the first historic home in the country to develop a fully immersive iPad tour. So we're a contemporary historic home as well. So if you're in the dining room, you're not just seeing the room. You can actually press a little film icon on the iPad and see home movie footage of Elvis and Priscilla giving Lisa Marie presents in that room. So it really brings the tour to life for you.
Who owns Graceland? Does
Lisa Marie Presley is the sole owner of Graceland and its contents. They do have business partners in the Graceland Elvis business,
right?
But the home belongs solely to Lisa Marie Presley, and she says she'll never give it up.
She's opened it up to the public for the tours.
In '82, her mother made the decision to open Graceland for public tours. The state was down to its last $500,000. It was either open Graceland for tours or sell it, and oddly enough, the city of Memphis declined to take it on and operate it as a museum. The city did it. The family did it. The city went ahead and built this thing called Mud Island, a river park, and it's now free to the public. And Graceland, 19 million visitors later, they obviously did the right thing opening. And, they only had like a 3-year business plan. They thought after 3 years, anybody that wanted to come to Graceland would have shown up and gone through the door, and still 30-plus years later, they're still coming.
Kevin Kern with us, Communications Director of Graceland. Were you the one who told me that the myth of Elvis dying in the bathroom is not true?
Well, he was technically pronounced dead at Baptist Memorial Hospital in Memphis. So
okay, but did he fall over while he was in the bathroom?
I don't know. I wasn't there.
Okay,
but as the story goes, he was pronounced deceased at a local hospital.
Okay, now I have not gone, but gone down.
not?
I have not. It
After
pains
all
me.
these
I
times
know.
I've come to visit you
Every
in the
time you
studio,
come, I say I'm going
you
down.
do.
It's going to be great.
You're
when
lying to
when
me.
I go. I have not gone, but people who have gone love it.
They really do. I mean, it's a great family experience. It's more than just a historic home. It's the roots of rock and roll. I mean, Memphis itself is the epicenter of the rock and roll movement, with blues, soul, and rock and roll and rockabilly all converging to this great genre of music that really changed the world. And it started with Elvis Presley.
Of all the things they say, one of the things they say is that Graceland is a lot smaller than people think.
It really is. You know, by mansion standards of the 1950s, it was quite large. It is still 17,000 square feet of livable space, which is about 16,000 more than I've got at home.
Right.
So, you know, it's still quite large, but, you know, it's not the mansion. But you might consider Graceland the original crib. If MTV was doing MTV cribs back in the 50s, Graceland would have been the first one they went to.
That's pretty flashy. I have a question,
Yes.
though. The Jet.
The Jet.
What's the story with that?
You know, unfortunately, we don't own the Jets, and they are controlled by other owners, and so, you know, I don't know exactly what the future holds, but you know, they're still there as we speak. But there's always something fun and exciting to do. Obviously, the home is the main attraction.
How do you go? Each tour of a house is different. Where do you go and get tickets? How do you get tickets? Can you show up? How does all that work?
You can go to Graceland.com and book your tickets for a reserve an hour and show up. You can show up in person day of and buy your tickets, but you can do so online at Graceland.com/get closer. You can actually save if you're planning that trip, just a short drive down to Memphis. But we're always open. I think we close Thanksgiving, Christmas, and any day it snows in Memphis.
Is there any part of the house that is off limits? In other words, does the daughter keep a little room for herself?
Yes, that's a good question. And the upstairs, it's kind of like if we invited folks over to our homes, we probably wouldn't take them on a tour of our bedroom.
Right.
And that's the same for the Presley family at Graceland. Also, the home was built in 1939. It's a wood frame house. Had we taken 19 million people up that wood frame staircase, the second floor probably still wouldn't be standing today.
Wait, it was 1939, so
Yes.
he didn't build it himself?
He did not build it. The home was originally built by the Moore family. It was a part of a 500-acre farm, and they're the ones who actually came up with the name Graceland. Ruth Moore was given the land by her aunt Grace, and they named the farm and home after her, who gave them the land. Elvis bought it from them in 1957 for $100,000.
When you started working at, were you an Elvis fan, or did you get
Who isn't an Elvis fan?
Well, okay,
But, you know, I'm a native Memphian, and you know,
Okay.
you can hop at a cab in Budapest and say, I'm from Memphis, and they know where you're from because of Elvis Presley. So it's a tremendous amount of civic pride to know that you can go anywhere in the world and say Memphis, and they know exactly what you're talking about.
Kevin Kern, Communications Director, Graceland, a couple of new exhibits in Memphis this summer at Graceland. The website again?
Graceland.com.
I'm going to get there one of these summers.
Please
I'm going to
do.
get there. Kevin Kern, Communications Director, Graceland, here on the Big 550 KTRS. Talking to a friend yesterday, and they said, what was the name of that doctor you were talking about that'll solve your sinus problems? I said, it's Dr. Karen Boone at Metro Sinus. They said, thank you very much, at MetroSinus.com.